What's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul with Liberty Hill Comics, where I share my passion and over 40 years of experience comic book collecting, investing, and conservation with you. I recently returned from the 2023 Collectors Summit in Dallas, Texas, hosted by Fanalytics and on location at beautiful Heritage Auctions. There, I had an opportunity to sit down with Adam Schomer, the founder and president of Eye to Eye Productions. Adam is the award-winning producer-director behind a number of projects, some of which he'll mention in our interview. He's the creative force behind the upcoming film Selling Superman that you may have heard about. His goal with filmmaking is to unite people through wisdom and entertainment by a process he calls Conscious Filmmaking. Meeting Adam and the rest of the Selling Superman crew, including the owner of the collection and star of Selling Superman, Darren, was one of the highlights of my trip to Dallas for the Collector Summit, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this documentary and seeing what Darren can do with this collection to bring people in our hobby together. Enjoy the interview, and please forgive the audio quality. We were on a con floor. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul with Liberty Hill Comics. I'm at the Collector Summit, Dallas, Texas, 2023. We're here at Heritage Auctions at Harley Yee's Comics, and I'm here with my new friend, Adam.
Hey, Dr. Paul.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
So, tell the folks a little bit about yourself. Don't be too modest. Give us your bona fides and why you're here today.
Yeah, I'm here because we're doing a documentary about comic books. Really a documentary about father-son relationships and even mental health and the meaning we assign things. And as you know, we all have a lot of meaning and value with superheroes for a long time.
Yep.
So we're here for this Selling Superman documentary. Myself, I'm a filmmaker. I sometimes call myself a conscious filmmaker, meaning a lot of my documentaries are meant to inspire you, to inquire about your own life, to see how you see the world, and hopefully become a happier person. So things like the Road to Dharma doc series, Motorcycling in the Himalayas, very popular film called Heal, about the way our body heals and how we are part of that. The Highest Pass, another documentary in India. I just filmed in Iceland with Mathieu Ricard, a Buddhist monk. So it's been a good 15-year run of conscious documentaries, and I'm very happy to do something a little different with the comic books. And the crazy thing is Darren, the main character, is a childhood friend of mine from high school. So fell in my lap, and I love the fact that we get to use superheroes and comic books and a passionate hobby to dive into some different topics about meaning, like I said, about mental health and father-son relations. It's fascinating.
I'm really looking forward to it. It was great meeting the crew, fellow Michiganders.
Yeah.
Some of you transplanted.
We're all a bunch of Michiganders. I'm now in Santa Monica because snow is not my best friend.
So how can people get involved now, and what is the timeline for the project?
Great question. To get involved, you can go to sellingsuperman.com. We have a sneak peek trailer up there. So it's a longer trailer, but it really starts to get you in the story.
And I'll put a link in the description of the video for the viewers.
Yeah, and Selling Superman, there you can put your email in. We do scholarships, meaning we give away some $1,000 books from Darren's collection, which he calls the Fantastic Collection. If you don't know, there are 300,000 comics, and Superman 1 at a 7.0. Big book. We're following part of, will he sell it or not? So that's how they can follow us. Timeline, we're in post-production, which means editing. And so we're done filming for the most part. And we should be done with the editing January, which means the film could come out in festivals as soon as March, April, and for the casual person, sometime, let's say, in the fall of 24.
Awesome.
Yeah, we don't know where. For sure you'll have an opportunity to buy direct on VOD, and then we'll see what kind of streamers are the right fit for us.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm sure the audience of Liberty Hill Comics is, and wish you luck.
Thank you.
With the wrap up and launch, and it's great meeting you here.
Yeah, likewise. It's awesome. It's intriguing people, to say the least. So I've really enjoyed the underbelly of the comic industry and the passion underneath it.
Because you're kind of an outsider, right?
Yeah, I'm an outsider.
You're not really you haven't been comic book collecting for 20, 30 years like many of us.
Not at all. I mean, cartoons when I was a kid, meaning the Justice League, as we were talking about those
the Super Friends.
The Super Friends, right? Super Friends. and Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, of course,
Sure.
right? So we all resonate with these myths.
Right, we have this shared...
Yeah. But comic books
Culture.
themselves, no. So it's been nice to have the outside view in.
Yeah.
And really, to be honest,
It's a fresh view.
We'll be opening this up. People well beyond the comic community
Right.
will be ingesting this film.
100%.
So
right?
it should get a lot of people interested, to be honest.
Yeah. I talked to Darren about this a little bit, and I was like, you know who the audience for American Chopper was? It wasn't people that ride or make choppers, right? It was people watching it for the relationship between Paul Sr. and Paul Jr., right?
Father-son.
And, I've never been on a chopper. I've never built a chopper. I never missed an episode.
Wow.
Right? And so I think these kinds of stories have that kind of power, right?
Absolutely. And it's a fascinating world to look into. But yeah, when you tie it to the father-son, that's where everyone can relate. When you tie it to just the family portrait, it kept revealing itself as I filmed. So this film really started to unravel. Darren's aunt is really interesting in this. His father's sister, his brother, his mom, the cousins. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm really looking forward to it. Again, thanks for taking time for us here, and good luck.
Thank you. All right. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
In case you haven't seen it, Adam gave me permission to include the extended trailer to Selling Superman at the end of his interview. So here it is.
I was too busy raising my kids to realize what was happening.
Certain rooms of the house were off limits.
I would go over, and you'd see like 30 boxes covered with a sheet. And I was like, what's that? He's like, it's nothing.
We don't tell anybody about this.
That was it for 40 years.
I had to escape. I remember seeing a therapist, and I finally let it out. My husband has comics.
My father got the first solo issue of Superman from 1939. It was locked away for decades. He found out that was the second nicest copy of that book on the planet. That book could easily go for $3 to $4 million. I inherited over 1 million collectibles.
What's that box value then?
80 to 90,000. Just right here. My father had Asperger's, but not knowing it caused a lot of friction. It seems like ultimate fixation and hoarding. He kept collecting and needed more space and more space and more space.
You have no idea how oppressive he can be.
He was constantly neurotic about the security of the collection. We have each of them humidity controlled, climate control, multiple layers of security. You would have thought that was cool.
I'm sure his father loved him, but I don't know if Darren truly felt it. Nothing Darren did was ever good enough.
He made life livable, but not worth living. I divorced. I said, I don't want any part of them.
If I wasn't around, there would be a big dumpster outside and she would just own it. Actually, she'd recycle. We have no idea what's in that box.
Oh, wow. I need that.
Okay.
Yeah, I need that
So,
too.
where do we go from here? That's the question, right?
Comics are super valuable, and they're booming. Why? Hollywood.
We're just still seeing the rise of the comics.
Who would pay this much money for such a book? It's fascinating.
I'd sell it. Do you want to give me $3.5 million for that comic? Bye-bye.
There is a little bit of responsibility to make sure some of this stuff is preserved. This stuff survived world wars, depressions, cultural differences, racial realizations, women's rights. Everything is reflected in these stories. I want to work with people that want to be involved and share in it. It'd be amazing to have some of these key books end up with like the biggest fan of Superman or the biggest fan of Batman. How do we find those people? Clearly, trust is a huge thing. Well, what if we pick them up in blindfolds? Excuse me.
If I say something offensive, it will be cut out, right?
It'll be very interesting the kind of people that we deal with and what their intentions are for acquiring some of these collectibles.
One of my buddies came by, he saw the books in the hatchback, and he's like, oh, hatchback comics.
Kid and the dad, I guess. And the hatchback dad.
The stuff in here is worthy of being in a safe like this.
What? Are you kidding me?
Amazing Spider-Man 101, 9.8.
There's 4 copies of it there.
You need a new safe.
This is unbelievable.
Each one of those books are somebody's holy grail.
I did almost cry. Not gonna lie.
I never got to look at one of those while he was alive. And I really wanted to. You'll remember this moment probably for the rest of your lives. Father and son. We wanted to create a family experience. How it should have been. We didn't know we had these two until you just witnessed it.
Having that excuse to get back together and go on a treasure hunt. What an amazing gift that is.
I wish my dad was here to see it.
So that's how I speak.
It's not about the actual book. It's about what it means.
What do you do? Would you sell it?
the top of the mountain. I couldn't see ever letting go of something like that.
I just don't want to let my father down. With this collection, we're coming out.
I wouldn't sell it.
I would probably sell it.
You just can't.
What does that mean? I guess that's what we're going to find out in this journey. He was such a difficult prick, man. But, I mean, I did love him.
I hope you enjoyed the interview and trailer and are as pumped as I am now to see this film. Adam's approach to filmmaking is inspired, and knowing that he is bringing his unique perspective to our comic book collecting hobby and bringing it to new audiences is exciting. He and I got to talk at length about just what conscious filmmaking means, and I can tell you his sincerity comes through in person and in his work. Please check out Eye to Eye's other projects. I'll put a link in the video description to Eye to Eye, as well as Selling Superman, Collector's Summit, and Heritage Auctions. I really want to thank Darren for agreeing to tell his story, without which this film would not have been made. I got a great interview with him, and we'll be bringing it to the channel soon. Thank you, Adam, for taking time out of your busy convention to talk to me, as well as Fanalytics for a great show and Heritage Auctions for hosting. Stay tuned for more exciting videos from the Collector's Summit, including my CGC submission drop-off and my interview with CGC President Matt Nelson. You're not going to want to miss them. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more great content if you haven't already. Until next time, take care of one another.